Hey, what's up? It's Bon. Let's talk about Mass Effect in 7 day. Exciting stuff. So we got a blog, which I think is what we mostly expected. And I'm going to talk about it and some of the conversation going around. This is a quick look at it. I'll probably do another video later this week or next week with some more detailed info. I'm sure people are going to find stuff that I don't notice or that people haven't talked about yet. And so I'll do another video probably in the next week or two to do a deeper dive. But for now, let's kind of jump into it. So we got an announcement from BioWare about a blog. It came with this little detail. We'll talk more about this. As part of the blog came some familiar but updated art as well. And this is a video, so we're gonna look at this last and listen to it. But let's look at the blog. So this is the In7Day blog. We'll start right here at the top. This is kind of an interesting thing. So this is like the first image we see. This looks like Ilium, especially because we have down here in the bottom right an Asari on some kind of advertisement. These are very familiar transportation ships that the cars, the air cars that we've seen, as well as these various ships that you can see here in the distance as well. So that's a little detail, but it is cool to say the least. So, we'll kind of get back to that. Is that supposed to be signaling something? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But basically they get in here and they say, since we last spoke about the next Mass Effect game, pre-production development has been proceeding very well. The team, comprised of Mass Effect franchise veterans, as well as new additions to BioWare, has grown steadily. They have been hard at work crafting new characters and locations that you will love, as well as revisiting many that you'll remember. This is going to be a Milky Way game. They will include Andromeda in some capacity, maybe, in more significant ways or not. This, I'm willing to call it that this is going to be a Milky Way game. And the time frame we'll get to soon. Here it says, this year we wanted you to meet some of the people leading that work, so we're putting a spotlight on our 4 team leads so you can get to know them a little better. With each game we make, pairing new talent with veteran developers as we provided us with a fresh perspective and ideas, not to mention the skills and experiences built across the industry. Allow us to introduce you to Mike, Danielle, Mary, and Parrish. So Mike Gamble, we all know, he is the project director. He's the one who's teasing us all the time and all that. Been with BioWare for a long time. We're aware of him. The most interesting one here to me, because we know about Mary DeMarley, formerly with Eidos, but she did the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which was fantastic. She also did the last couple of Deus Ex games, which I've never played, but I've heard people like the stories a lot. And Parrish Lee has been with BioWare forever, I believe, to work on the original Mass Effect saga, as he has his little quote here. But Danielle Inns is an interesting one because on the hiring page for BioWare, for the last 6 months, the only director position still open was development director. As of a couple days ago, I think I checked it yesterday and it was still on there. Today they have them announced here as the development director. And if you go to the BioWare hiring page now, it is listed. It's still the same listing, but the name has changed. It's development manager. So they have all of their director positions filled for this game. That's a big deal. That means things can really move along. As they said in their own words up here, they're still in pre-production. We should expect them to be in pre-production probably until Dreadwolf comes out, when they can actually move a significant team over to work on this game. But them having all the leadership in place, big deal. So here it says, one day when we're ready, we'll have more to share about the next Mass Effect. So thank you for being part of this journey with us. It's exceptionally exciting for the team, and we'd love to continue sharing glimpses of what we're working on with you in the future. And on today of all days, we also want to honor the legacy that got us here. Millions of you have now experienced Mass Effect Legendary Edition. As returning players or for the first time, it means the world to us that you enjoy our games and become part of the story. Whether you've donned N7 since the beginning, are planning to someday soon, or anything in between, doing. It's a privilege to see you wear it. So I'm new with the Legendary Edition, even though I'm an old grain balding dude. I'm new with the Legendary Edition, so this is cool. I'm not going to talk about the Sims thing. There's Sims in 7 stuff. There's a bunch of store stuff. The BioWare Gear Store did just have a bunch of new stuff drop. If you want to use code BW N7 Day 1 or N7 Day 2, you get 20% off there. I also always have a code going as well for 20% off anything in that store. It's always BW Bond and then a number. So right now it's 6. If you ever want a discount, you just need to tell me and I will get you one. I can make a code whenever I want. Okay, so this was kind of the headline and maybe the biggest teaser for today. And the thing that I'll probably have to come back to, because I think people are going to find more stuff as time goes on. But here, every N7 day is special to us, every single one. It's a day made for all of you to you and exist because of your passion. As our team on the next Mass Effect game celebrates today with you, they wanted to leave you with one final message from the project director of the next Mass Effect game, Mike Gamble. And this is a message directly from Mike Gamble. In nearly 15 years since the release of the first Mass Effect, the biggest reason we still love working on this is the warmth, dedication, and passion of the community. There are some of you who have been with us through everything. We've grown together, sacrificed Ashley together, editor's note, or Caden, Mike. We all have different choices. Funny. Faced difficulties together and laughed until our faces were tired together. I didn't catch that the first time I read it. That's hilarious. And for those who are new to Mass Effect, thanks Legendary Edition. That's me right here. Welcome. I can promise that many years of fun, adventures, and characters you'll fall in love with are still ahead. Like, that's so dope. Like, that's so cool. It's nothing, but it's still exciting. Regardless of when you joined us through 4 games and some expansions, I can say that with certainty that we are in this because of you, and every N7 day is a wonderful reminder of that. As we look forward, each week is fun and exciting challenge for the team. We love bringing this universe to life, and although there is much more we want to share with you, that'll have to wait for another time. For now, there is something we want you to have a look at. We've intercepted some strange footage from one of the monitoring stations in known space. It could be nothing but... And then there's this. So I have this screenshot. We'll look at it, or this concept art. And there's a video. So let's look at this first. I am going to, let me take away the camera here for a second. Okay, so this is what they posted. And this is actually an updated image from some old concept art, like really old concept art, which we'll look at that comparison in a moment. We'll kind of bounce back and forth. But what's interesting about this, there's a lot of interesting stuff here. Okay. What's really interesting is down here in the bottom. Let me see if I can get this easy to see here. Okay. There we go. So what it says here is a vacuum dock relay construction record. Monitoring station operated by Green Dagger. I'm assuming this LTD is limited. Property of Deep Space DHOW SAV ship captain Sub Navark Soral Zolian Jones. For interior use only, and then a bunch of numbers here. So from my Discord, one thing I'll point out immediately that someone showed here was that there is 11/7/90. So I'm going to assume this isn't current times. The speculation is that this is 11/7, obviously referencing N7 day, and then this could be 2190. That's around 4 or 5 years after the events of Mass Effect 3. And maybe this is some indication of trying to give us maybe some idea of time frame and stuff like that. I think combined with that picture from Ilium, or what looks like Ilium, I would say that there may be something to that as well. We'll have to kind of wait and see. There is some other interesting stuff going on here. First, I want to look at this comparison. The Mass Effect news page posted this here, where they showed, so this is the old concept art. And so obviously if we switch between them, you know, you can tell it's built, you know, it's like an updated version of it. Even though the more I look at here, this is completely new art. So it's obviously inspired by this and based off of this. But even like the angle of the center wobbly thing, that's the scientific name, is different than that one. Interesting. Okay, so this is fairly substantially updated, more so than I realized. Well, there's multiple things to look at here, right? So this is cool. It retains the MR7, it retains the relay look, obviously. The big thing about this, though, is this updated thing is there's a few things here. So here, let's look at these ships. So these ships, I'm someone who wants a Milky Way story taking place after Mass Effect 3. I think that's what we're getting. I think we can't ignore that these ships here are very Nexus looking. These look very Ark-like. And I don't think that's not on purpose. I've been predicting for a while that I think, and I hope this game takes place shortly after Mass Effect 3, but I also think that the leftovers, or what was left over behind from the Andromeda mission, would play a part in this game, of like the Initiative's leftovers, the mysterious benefactor and so forth. These very well could be Initiative ships. I wouldn't doubt it at all in the Milky Way. So that's something to consider. These ships here, if you look at them, these look a lot like the Alliance freighters and stuff that we saw in the trilogy. And so that wouldn't be that surprising at all if that was the case. The big thing I've seen people already getting crazy about is this right here. And what cracks me up about it is this little blue blur here. People are seeing like a long shape in the middle and two little winglets with the engines on the side. Everyone basically, if they're an Andromeda fan, they're saying that's the Tempest. If they're a trilogy fan, they're saying that's the Normandy. If you want me to be totally honest, probably think it's just a ship. Maybe it's indicating something. Maybe it's the Mud Skipper that we've seen in other art. Maybe it's the ship from the teaser poster from last year. I don't know. But this is cool. So some other details. One thing was the name of the captain of this ship. I guess is what they're calling it. It's the Sub Navark. Is not a position we've heard before, but maybe this is a unique ship and that needed like a new name or something. But it's the Soral Zalian Jones. That definitely seems like a Korean name, but Jones doesn't sound very Korean. So I'm wondering if this is supposed to indicate a Korean who is paired up with a human or something like that. Yeah, so the one big thing I want to touch base on here before I get too crazy is this was a video. So I'm gonna play this. It's very loud for the headphone warning, and then we'll talk more about it. All right, so I think this is going to be one of those things I'm going to have to come back and touch on, because I think people are going to dig through that and find out what it is. I've had people in my Discord say that they think it's Mass Effect 2 music. There's people thinking it's like a distress call, thinking it's all kinds of stuff. Someone's going to tear that apart who knows how to do the audio stuff, and we'll post about it. I'll talk about that another time. So I think I've kind of covered the gist of what I wanted to. Like I said, I want to come back to this and talk about more another time, when we maybe have more info and when some smarter people in the community have gathered more info here. But this is what I hoped for. I hoped for something more interesting than the poster from last year, but I didn't expect a big giant like teaser trailer, like a big trailer that was going to tell us everything about everything. I didn't think that was realistic yet. I don't think that's realistic for another year or two. But I think this is really cool. So as I wrap this video up, down below, tell me all your theories, point out stuff that I may have missed, tell me everything that you think and that you want and what you think this means to you so far. Is this relay supposed to be something that's going to connect us to Andromeda? Is it just a sign of, the civilizations rebuilding within the Milky Way? What do you think it's going to be? I am curious to hear about it. What I would also like is for you to subscribe to this channel, like this video, like I said before, comment down below with what you think. You can find me on Twitter at Bondiesel, as well as most other places, including Twitch at twitch.tv/Bondiesel. You can also check out my podcast, The EchoCast, where I talk about this kind of stuff and anything gaming related on a weekly news show. The EchoCast is on all podcast platforms, and it's right here on this very YouTube channel if you want to listen to it here. That is all I have for this one. So until next time.